Welcome back, fam. This is Mr. James, the decomposer and the synthesizer of math and science. Tutor. Alright, but fair too, as I always say, if you're not good, if you're not okay, this is what you must do. Just do it. Take one day at a time. But fair too, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be focusing on one of the problems under functions. One of the problems under functions. So as you can see on the board here, we have the Cartesian plane. You can see the y-axis, which is a vertical straight line. You also have the horizontal axis, which is your x-axis in this case, and then you have f of x, which is your graph that is making a U-turn, giving you a concave down, by the way, and then you also have a straight line that is passing through the function f of x, and that straight line we call it g of x. Okay, so we have two functions there. So there are going to be some questions that we're going to be trying to answer based on the diagrams that we have here on the board. Okay, I hope you guys are going to be able to enjoy this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, and to comment. Awesome. Then now let's see what we can do before we can start to look at the statement that we're given and the questions, right? So if you can look at the diagram, you have C, you have B, you have A, and then you just have another point which is not given, whether it's point D or something, right? So it's an unknown point. It's an unknown point which has P and -4, by the way. And this point is on the line, is on your straight line, G of X, as you can see, all right? And then this green color, it basically shows that the function that is making a U-turn, which is a concave down graph, it's basically your f of x, which is your quadratic function, giving you the parabola graph, right? And then your straight line, which is a linear function, by the way, right? Which is given in the form of y equals to mx plus c. So this is what you must remember, guys. G of x is equivalent to mx plus c, and then f of x equals to ax squared plus q. All right, ax squared plus q. So this is a problem for the grade 10s. If you are in grade 10, you're doing maths, I guess this is going to help you. If you're doing grade 11 and grade 12, you can still watch this because they basically forgot some basics. So you can basically watch this. All right, awesome, guys. Now, before I have to continue more in terms of the questions and stuff, some might be saying, okay, f of x equals to ax squared plus q. For grade 10s, yes, but for grade 11 and 12, there is more to that. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you something, guys. Remember, y equals to a into x minus plus or minus p all squared plus q. When you're in grade 10 or you're in grade, when you're in grade 11 and 12, you must remember that your standard equation of a quadratic is given by a into x plus or minus p all squared plus q. So you have the p, and you must remember that this p, guys, represents the what we call the axis of symmetry. Quadratic function has what we call axis of symmetry, which is the value x equivalent to p. X equivalent to p, and a formula is also, it can be given by minus b over 2a. So you only use this formula, minus b over 2a, if you're given the function in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Remember, quadratic means the exponent has to be 2, okay? So you can see it's a trinomial there. The value of b, if you have it, you will put it there. 2 times the value of a, if you see the value of a, for example, if I'm given y equals to x squared minus 5x plus 6. So you can see what is going to be my a. My a is going to be 1. Why is it positive 1? Because of there is a number here that you cannot see. For the fact that the function is positive, it has to be positive. But do you see any number? If you don't see number, always know that the number is 1. Okay, what about the b? The value of b in this case is going to be minus 5. So I'm going to write minus 5. Right. Then what is the value of c? The value of c is basically 6. So when you're using the formula minus b over 2a, this is the formula that is going to help you to get what you call axis of symmetry on the turning points. Because sometimes when you're given it in this form, it's so hard to can get the axis of, to can get the turning points, because the turning points is what we call TP, which is P and Q. You have the P. If it's plus, you put minus here. And then Q, as long as it's positive, is positive. As long as it's negative, will remain negative. But if P is minus in the brackets, you will make it positive. If P is positive, you make it negative. Don't forget that. Those who are doing grade 11 and grade 10, and grade 12, please keep that in mind. I will do more for you guys. Now, let's continue. Those ones who are doing grade 10, they might wonder, why don't they have P? Let me tell you something, guys. The reason why you don't have P is because of P in this case in grade 10 is 0. So if P equals to 0, I must put 0 here. Alright, so what is x plus 0? It's going to be x. X minus 0 still x. Then in all squared, you're going to end up having ax squared plus q. So that is the reason why we have this guy in grade 10, is because of the value of p equals to 0, which is called the axis of symmetry. So your axis of symmetry grade 10 is always 0. Grade 11 and 12, always make sure that you use the formula x equals to p, which equals to minus b over 2a. I will show you more, guys, in terms of how to do that for grade 11 and 12. Let's continue, guys, with today's lesson now. So now, we are going to read the statement. Okay, let me read for you what the statement says, and then check it out. They are saying refer to the graph alongside where the straight line AB, has been drawn, as well as a parabola in the form of y equals to ax squared plus q, which is our f of x. Alright, we are given point A and B, which you can see your point A is 0 and 4, your point B is 2 and 0, and we also have just another point alongside g of x, which is p and minus 4. So the first question that comes, it says, find the equation of line AB, or determine the equation of line AB. Okay, line AB. You have a line here. They are asking you to find the equation of this line. And remember, our equation of a straight line is always in the form of what? Mx plus c. Okay, so what we must do in order for us to get the equation of a straight line, remember guys, from analytical geometry, if you want to get the equation of a straight line, you must make sure that you have at least 2 points. And what are you going to do with the 2 points? You're going to use those 2 points to find what you call the gradient of the gradient between the 2 points. After finding the gradient, then you're going to use one of the points that you have to find your equation. I'm going to show you guys. All right. There are two types of ways in which you can find the equation of a straight line. The first one is y equals to mx plus c. The second one is y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. So these are the two equations that we're going to use to find the equation of a straight line. I hope you guys are ready for this, right? So let's see. They said we must find the equation. So the first thing that we must do, number one, let's find the gradient, MAB. The gradient of AB will be equivalent to change in y over change in x, which is the same as y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Guys, remember, just check one of my videos of the basics of analytical geometry. You are still allowed to say y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, okay? You're still allowed. So don't stress and be like, no, my teacher said, no, it's fine, okay? We got you. We're on the same page, you know what I'm saying? All right, then from there, let's start. We have point A and B, okay? Someone can say, is it possible if I just say ya minus yb over xa minus xb? Yes, we can do it that way so that you don't confuse yourself and all that. So we have 0 and 4. What is my ya? Is 4. So I'm going to put 4 minus the value of the b, 1b, sorry for that. And then I'm having 0 divided by my x of a is 0, my x of b is 2, and then now 4 minus 0 is going to give me 4, and then 0 minus 2 is going to give me minus 2, and then if you divide 4 by 2, or 2, how many times does 2 goes into 4? It goes twice, and since we have positive divided by negative, the answer will end up as negative, right? So I'm going to end up having negative 2. So negative 2 is the gradient of line AB. So we already have the gradient of the line AB, which is a good thing, right? And if we do have the gradient, then we can try to what? To find the equation. So I'm going to start with this one since most people are familiar with that method. Let me start with it. Now, I'm going to say y equals to, so when I see m, I'm going to put negative 2 since it's the gradient of what? Line AB. Check it out. I'm going to put minus 2x plus c. Do you see what I've done there? I only had to replace m with the minus 2 and then that's it. Then from there, I need to choose which point should I use. Okay, someone can say, sir, you can, oh, Mr. Decomposer, you can use B. Someone can say, no, I would like you to use A. Okay, fine, let me just use A. Okay, let me use A. If I use A, I'm giving you a task right now. While I'm doing the equation of AB using point A, you must make sure that you use point B. We must still get the same answer at the end of the day. Are we together? Good stuff. So let me use A. Point A, it means where I see Y, I must do what? Put 4. Because a point, guys, a point always has X and Y. X comes first, then Y comes after, okay? So where I see Y, I'm going to put the value of Y, which is 4. And then minus 2 into who? 0 plus C. And then any number multiplied by 0, guys, is 0. You can use your calculator. It's going to give you 0. So you have 0 plus C equals to 4. What is 0 plus C? It's going to give me C. Then at the end of the day, my C equals to 4. Then I'm going to end up having this guy. So g of x, I can write it here on the top. G of x, which is my equation of line AB, is going to be minus 2x plus 4. I am done with finding the equation of line AB. Okay? Using this one. Right. So someone who's familiar with the second method, they can use the second method. Not a problem. No one is stopping you. Alright. So let me see. Can I try to use this one? Yeah, maybe I can try. No, I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna actually do it. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Okay. Let me try to erase this part here so that I can use that guy. Right? Okay. Don't worry, all of the methods will still give you the same results. So y, okay, where I see y1, remember I'm using point A, you're using point B, right? So where I see y1, I'm going to put the value of point A. Where I see m, I'm going to put my gradient minus 2. Let's do it, let's do it. So y1 equals to m into x minus x1, step by step. Then, okay, that's your formula. Where I see this guy, the gradient, I put minus 2. We are together. And then from there, where I see y1, I'm going to put 4. So y minus 4 equals to minus 2 into x. Where I see x1, here, x1, I'm going to put the value of x of a, which is 0. Okay? And then from there, I'm going to do what you call distribution. Remember algebra? When you're doing multiplication, all right, of distribution, and then you're going to say negative times positive is negative, 2 times x is going to give you 2x, negative times negative is positive, and then 2 times 0, anything multiplied by 0 is just going to give you 0, and then we have y minus 4. At the end of the day, y equals to minus 2x. Then we're going to take, remember, you must make sure that y is the subject of the formula, meaning that you must leave y alone on its own side, the rest must go to the other side. Now, according to the laws of the rules of math, we know that if a number crosses the equal sign, it's going to change from positive to negative, negative to positive, positive to negative, negative to positive. So this guy is negative. As soon as he crosses the equal sign, he's going to become what? Positive 4. That's going to be the equation of who? So at the end of the day, we still got the same answer. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to depend on you, which method do you prefer between 1 and 2. Okay? Thank you so much, guys, for that. Now, let's continue to the second question. All right? So the second question says that write down the coordinates of point C. So we have A, B, and we have C here. And on C, we don't see anything. So how are we going to find the points of C? That's a very good question. All right, but let's do it and see how we can actually get the coordinates of C. Someone already has an idea, which is a good thing. All right, so let's see what we can do. All right, so now we're looking for this guy, C. If I have to be honest with you guys, please keep this in mind. If a graph or a line cuts the y-axis, you already have what you call the y-intercept. Let me say this again. Let me say this again. If a line, you see this line, it had to cut or touch the y-axis, you already have what you call the y-intercept. That's why x is always 0. It's because of that value, it's a y-intercept. Then if a line cuts the x-axis, you see these two lines, this line here, it had to cut this side on the negative side of the x-axis and on the positive side. Whenever a line cuts the x-axis, we're going to end up having what you call the x-intercept. And when you're looking for the x-intercept, you let y to be 0. When you're looking for the y-intercept, you let who? X to be 0. Opposite. We get it, ne? Sibonke. Okay. So it means here, I'm going to have x and 0. Already here, we have 2 and 0 because B is the x-intercept of who? F of x. Even C is also the x-intercept of f of x, but we do not know the values of C or the x value of C. Okay? Since A is the x-intercept, we already know that the y is going to be 0 of the values of the point C, but we do not know the x value. So how are we going to get it? And remember, we are not also given the equation of who? We are not given the equation of f of x. Someone can guess to say, someone can say it's going to be minus 2 and 0. Yeah, it's good. If it's 1 mark, yeah, in terms of inspection, yeah, cool. But you must firstly get the equation, all right? Let's try to find the equation of f of x so that we can get the points quickly, all right? Quickly. So let's quickly do it. So remember, there is something called TP, the turning points, P and Q, all right? So our P for gradient is always 0, remember? Remember, turning point is where the graph makes a U-turn, 360. 360, look, it makes a U-turn where? At point A. The graph of f of x makes a U-turn. It makes a U-turn at point A. And then our x value, which is our P, is 0, as I always say. Then you have your your Q, which is 4. Okay, then we're good. So since I have Q, where I see Q, I can actually put that guy. So let's do it. Y equals to ax squared. Where I see Q, I put what? Plus 4. We're good, all right? Then from there, since we have Q, we must look for the value of A. How are we going to find the value of A? We are going to use the point here, the point, okay? Let me advise you. Do not use the y-intercept if you're looking for point A. Do not use the y-intercept if you're looking for point. Do not use the x-intercept if you're looking for point A because, yes, the y-intercept. Don't use the y-intercept because, look, I'm going to substitute A here. It's going to be A into 0 plus 4, and then here I put 4. Already you can see, you get it. A times 0 is already 0. So who am I solving right now? You get it? So don't use the y-intercept. Rather use a point or x-intercept. That's better, okay? So now let's use this guy as our x-intercept. So I'm going to, where I see y, I put 0. And then A into where I see x, I put 2 all squared plus 4, okay? Then from there, 2 squared, remember 2 squared is the same as 2 times 2, right? So 2 is your exponent, is your base, so it tells you how many times must the base multiply itself. Twice, right? So that's why I'm going to end up having 4a plus 4 equals to 0. So I'm looking for a, what must I do? I take this guy, I transpose this guy to the other side. I'm going to have minus 4 equals to 4a. Someone's going to ask, how did you get negative? Remember, we are solving for a. So take this guy to the other side so that, we can be able to solve a. Because because A must be the subject of the formula. And when you transpose by the rules of math, we know if you are positive, you're going to end up negative. If you're negative, you're going to end up being positive, right? So if you divide both sides by 4, you're going to end up having your A as -1. So our A equals to -1. So our formula or our equation is going to be f of x equals to -x squared plus 4. That is going to be the equation of f of x. That is the equation of f of x. Is going to be -x squared plus 4. Okay, I think we are sorted on that part. Then we're going to go to the... Oh, remember the goal was that we must find the point C. So since we know that C is the x-intercept of this guy, then it means right now we can try to do what? We can try to solve for this guy. Let's try to solve it, guys, quickly. You will see what we're going to get, guys. Check it out. Okay, so I'm going to just do it here since it's a bit more blackish. And let's see. So we have y equals to -x squared plus 4. Where I see y, I put 0. -x squared plus 4. Okay. There are two ways in which you can do this one. Two ways. Multiply both sides by -1 or divide both sides by -1. You're going to end up having 0 equals to x squared minus 4. The goal is that whenever you're solving for quadratic equations, in most cases make sure that the variable is always positive, né? Always positive. Okay. Then from there, I can factorize if you know the difference of two squares. All right. Then I'm going to have x minus 2 into x plus 2. And then you remember, if you watch one of my videos in terms of how to solve, I said if a times b equals to 0, then a equals to 0 or b equals to 0. This is my point. X equals to 2 or x equals to -2. You see, it's minus. It's going to end up becoming 2. It's positive. Oh, maybe step by step. -2 equals to 0 or x plus 2 equals to 0. Then your x equals to 2 or my x equals to -2. Now, this 2 and 0 is this guy. It's our point B, which shows that he's indeed part of the function f of x. Then you have x equal to -2 is going to be this guy. So we have the points of C now. It's going to be -2 and 0. That is this guy. We have the points of C. So you're going to show them and say, you're going to say, therefore C is going to be -2 and 0. C is going to be -2 and 0. We just solved it. We are good. Okay. So another question is going to come to say, find the distance or the length of AB. Find the length of AB. Find the length of AB. Make sure that it's in 2 decimal places. Okay. Let's do it. Someone might say, sir, but you said there are 2 ways in which you can solve that one. Yeah, there are 2 ways. Let me just really quickly look. It was 0 equaling to x squared minus 4, right? I mean, it's like this. What you can do is just to take 4 to the other side. So -4 equaling to x squared negative. Since they are all negative, remember this guy must always be positive. What do? Divide both sides by -1. You're going to end up having 4 equaling to x squared. Now, we are looking for x. When you're looking for x, we must get rid of these 2. How do you get rid of these 2? You must call Mr. Square Root. So I'm going to say square root of x squared. When I call Mr. Square Root, I'm going to have square root of plus minus square root of 4, which is going to give me either x equaling to square root of 4 or x equals to minus square root of 4, which I believe square root of 4 is going to be x equaling to 2, and then minus square root of 4 is going to give me x equaling to -2. So I'm still going to have the same answers but different methods. So it's going to be up to you. Which one would you prefer? Okay. Thank you guys so much. Now let's see what we can do right now. We can find the distance. Let's try to find the distance, by the way. So you can find the distance of AB. You can find the distance of AB. Remember the distance formula? AB equals to x1 minus x2 all squared plus y1 minus y2 all squared. Remember, where I see x1, my x1 is going to be a, right? So I'm going to say 0 minus 2 all squared plus 4 minus 0 all squared. And then 0 minus 2 is going to give me minus 2 all squared plus 4 minus 0 is 4 all squared, which I believe this guy is going to give me 4. And then 4 squared is going to give me 16. And then from there, you can try to see, but this is still under the square root. So what is your 16 plus 4? Already you can see we go over 20, right? And if I'm looking at 20, 20, 34, and 5. So I believe that your answer is going to be 2 root 5. You're going to get 2 root 5. If they say leave your answer in a set form, leave it like this, then you're going to say units. Okay? If they said in 2 decimal places, I believe your answer is supposed to give us, let me see, maybe AB is going to be 4,471 or something. You can check on your calculator, but I believe it has to give you 4, something. Yeah. So if just say on your calculator 2 square root of 5, 2 square root of 5, then press SD on your calculator. You must get 4 something. Check it there. Either 4, yeah, just check it, but your answer has to be something like that. If they say 2 decimal places, the name is going to definitely be 4,47, because after comma must have 2 numbers. Okay, good stuff. And then the last question says that we must find the value of P. And if you can check, P is on this guy, G of X. So I must use the equation of G of X to find the value of P. Guys, don't use other things. You must look. They said you must find the value of P. Now check where the point P is. The point P is at the line, or is on the line of G of X. So it means that I must substitute this guy on the equation of G of X. Now, look. G of X, we said is minus 2x plus 4, right? So where I see P, I'm going to put X because P is the X. So I'm going to say minus 2 into P plus 4. Where I see Y, I must put root minus 4. So I have minus 4, okay? Then negative times positive is minus 2P. And then in plus 4, then I'm looking for P. So this 4 can go to the other side. So I'm going to have minus 4 equaling to minus 2P. Then this guy will give me minus 8, which equals to minus 2P. And then now let's check. We are looking for who? P. What must we do? We divide both sides by who? We divide both sides by negative 2, like this. You're going to say, I want to have enough space. Because I can see the motherboard is no longer clean there. So I'm going to say minus 8 divided by minus 2, minus 2P divided by minus 2. Then we're going to end up having 4 equals to P. So it means that the value of P is 4. The value of P here is 4, which it must make sense. Look, P is on the positive x-axis, and then the y is on the negative y-axis, so which is correct. That's how you can also check to confirm whether you are wrong or you are right. Okay, so guys, these were all the questions that were given for this type of a problem or this type of a question, in case it can come in an exam or in a test for you guys. I hope this was helpful for you. If you feel like I was too fast, I was moving by the speed of light, just share tell me on the comments, on the comment section below, to say, hey, my brother, you are rushing, you're speeding up, man. Try to slow down, man, and try to show us this and this and this and you get me, guys, man. So please share your thoughts, Bafetu, share your suggestions. I would really appreciate your comments. And as I've always said, Bafetu, in all that you do, do not forget to invite God. Stay blessed.